hope you are doing okay. For some of you who are currently in traffic right about now, trying to find your way home or navigate alternative routes, sorry for the inconvenience, because trust me, I wasn't it. So I understand what you guys are currently going through right about now. There's some repair works ongoing. The Lagos State government already made the announcement. Unfortunately, you know how it is when there are major roads being worked on. It's going to affect almost all the access, major access that persons use to convey themselves from one location to another in the state. However, we're going to keep you company right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM while we are giving you update on issues across Nigeria's social, economic and political landscape. And also we'll give you more insight into some of these issues that we'll be discussing this evening. I would implore you right about now to join us virtually. If you are anywhere in the world, you can join the conversation virtually. Just go into your YouTube application, type VOP 903 FM. Let's just say on the political scene. So something funny actually happened. Let me start off with a Tinubu, and so they were the ones that actually joined the ADC. So let me name them because I'm sure some of you know them. John Oyegun, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, Dino Melaye, Abubakar Malami, the former AJF. You also have former Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalong. Remember that Solomon Dalong has been against this administration from day one, so we are not surprised. The former Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Emeka Ihedioha. Former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar. Obviously, you know Emeka Ihedioha was the Imo State Governor, I think, for a couple of months before. Meanwhile, the Obedient movement has discountenanced the whole partnership thing with Atiku Abubakar, that such a conversation is not even ongoing. However, anywhere Peter Obi goes, in whatever form he's going, whether he's presidential aspirant or not, they are going with him. I don't know if some of you have seen the videos today. It was quite a massive one. And my guest in the studio, physically, finally, because he comes once in a blue moon. He's a very busy man. So I am happy to introduce to you, physically right here in the studio, Barrister Eze Eluche. Barrister Eze Eluche, welcome to Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
Thank you very much for having me in your studio.
Welcome, Barrister.
My pleasure.
You know that you're very emphatic.
Well,
and sometimes you come quite volatile when you want to respond to these issues. It's that volatility that we want. We want to see you.
I think it's more
not in a negative way. Yes, passionate.
Yes.
That's volatile. You say it as it is.
Right.
You don't mince words. You say it as it is. And I think that's why a lot of people appreciate your analysis. Barrister Eze, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Yesterday.
What would you say to this coalition? What would you? A couple of people think it's already dead on arrival. Some people think that let's just see how it goes. Maybe he's already trying to create issues within the party. But what do you think?
Well, I think it's good that the opposition forces are able to rally around and come together, because all Nigerians should actually be on board to ensure that the hardship we've passed through under this regime, under this junta, led by Bola Tinubu, does not continue a day more than necessary. Okay. So I think it gives hope to Nigerians that there is something that can be done to kick these guys out of office. So they will have certain problems, no doubt, and they've started. They should realize that there will be desperation on the part of Tinubu and his cohorts. Okay. The change of venue at the last minute was expected, and they should realize that people like Olu. Koyede, Koyede, the EFCC chairman, okay. The Egbetoku,
yes,
EFCC has been since incorporation.
Yes,
and the Northeast Congress of the party, and it should not rule out the fact that there will be some schisms. Yeah, there will be some issues that will arise within the party. But then, when they realize that the ultimate goal is to keep Nigeria together, remove the evil that has held sway. Calculation,
because there's a lot to unpack there. For example, the former leadership of the party, because it sounded like the leadership was an imposition, and certain persons, are already making revolutionary remarks that is anti what the ADC stands for.
That's right.
So were then a strong base, specifically from the southwest, because now they're using their a strong base, specifically from the southwest, because now they're using their their ethnicity right now to draw their ethnicity right now to drive the narrative.
Yes.
And these are drive the narrative.
Yes.
And these are persons that he has really empowered, like persons that he has really empowered, like seriously empowered them. They would do anything, even if he doesn't tell them to go to that extreme, they will go to that extreme.
Okay.
So with all of this at his disposal, he has the judiciary, the National Assembly, the DSS, the EFCC, the ICPC, the police, the army. Everything is at his disposal right now.
Yes.
And a couple of persons have complained that these institutions are within his grasp to utilize as he likes and mutilate when he wants. How will this coalition, with this set of persons, how will they unseat this?
Thank you very much. I think the right word is everything appears to be at his disposal. Everything appears. I mean, he's a human being. And anybody who reads the book he writes on politics is wasting his time.
Really?
This was the man who lost election in Lagos State at the last presidential elections. He lost in Lagos. He was beaten fair and square, even on Bodilon Street where he lives, in the entire state. He lost. His party chairman, the hierarchy of the party lost. So, I mean, it's like, will you go and ask an armed robber to write a book on how to steal or whatever? No, you don't do that kind of stuff. Yes, he's there. But even he himself knows he didn't win any elections. He knows, I mean, he was placed there.
Do you think the United States may influence how the outcome of the 2027 elections will be, like what happened in 2015?
Well, I mean, it's still a long way away. And then
most times they're usually part of it.
No, let us look at within ourselves.
Okay.
Let us not keep on looking at externalizing our problems.
All right.
Bola Tinubu is president and is living in Abuja. He's in Nigeria. So the problem is in Nigeria and we can tackle it by ourselves.
Okay.
If there is need for any externalization, that will be done. But what I will not want or support is this madness of everybody trying to go to Chatham House to try to announce their agenda. It's nonsense. And I hope that this time around, those who will be contesting knock it out of the system. Because it's actually meaningless.
Okay.
Yes. So with regards to the elections, yes, Tinubu thinks it's unfallable. He thinks he has the DSS. He thinks, but look, all those guys in those outfits have family members. They have relations. And we know, yes, if you've been giving so much money or whatever, what of the person living next door to you?
Okay.
How is he faring? So yes, he may think he has everything under his control, but when the time comes, he will realize that this is Nigeria. And like I keep on giving that example, in 2014, PDP was boasting that they will be in office for the next 60 years. That is the same kind of nonsense the APC are exuding now, that they will be there forever, that they have everything. You have people like Akpabio singing in public. You have the SA to the media, on media, talking all kind of crap. When the time comes, Nigeria will happen to them.
Barrister, the leadership of the Obedient Movement under its interim national coordinator Yunusa Tanko has come out to officially say that there is no agreement between Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. You remember, in fact, just yesterday, right on this platform, we've been talking about it, and a lot of Nigerians have been calling to express their own purview or perception to the supposed joint tickets of Atiku and Peter Obi running as a vice. Yunusa Tanko has officially come out to say there is none of that, and there's no such conversation even ongoing between the both of them. And he said that it's a mere fiction of people's imagination, as discussions on that have not taken place between Atiku and Obi. But he said the topic hasn't even come up, that people are merely speculating based on what transpired in 2019 as they were partners then. But that he said that the discussions currently ongoing is about the polls ahead of 2027, and to ensure that the institutions that were utilized by the current government to forestall or hoodwink or marginalize the voting bloc and the process does not repeat itself in 2027. And that's one of the very core fundamentals of the formation of the coalition, to ensure that all hands are on deck to ensure that doesn't take place. But conversations are ongoing. Now, Peter Obi has written his own proposal.
Okay.
To be in charge for 4 years. Now, the coalition needs to get themselves, properly fundamentalized, stabilized, and then the process begins. Process begins in selecting national executive members, board of trustees members, all of that will take place before they'll be through that convention. When it is time, they will look for a presidential candidate. Now we have Atiku Abubakar, part of that coalition, who is also a presidential aspirant. Obviously he's there for that. I don't know if he's there to be an elder statesman, but we already know what his intention is. Okay. Now you also have El Rufai, but although El Rufai is given the perception of I may not be a presidential candidate, but I want to work to unseat Tinubu in 2027, so he may back up. Now Malami has not really disclosed to us if he's going, but they need his financial backing. You understand? So Tambuwal, you remember Tambuwal too. So these are persons that have interest. Peter Obi has now submitted his own four-year bid.
Yes.
Do you think it will be considered? A lot of persons are afraid for him. They feel, number one, his geographical location, that is where he comes from. Number two, that the north is always very greedy, and they don't know the kind of conditions that will give him for them to consider him, because it's not really easy to convince those guys about somebody from the southeast. It all has to do with how they're able to rally vigorously around him. Number three, Barry said, another important thing I want us to also bear in mind is this elements there who may want to say, okay, you know what, you don't necessarily have to be on the board. If you're all about interests of Nigerians and you're not desperate for power, why don't you bring a neutral person completely unexpected? What do you think would happen if Peter Obi decides to officially leave Labour Party, comes into this coalition, is not a presidential candidate or whatever, with the obedience support whoever emerges from this coalition?
See, people have to be very careful so that they don't scuttle a coalition before it even sets up.
Okay.
I mean, all these pronouncements about submitting a 4-year proposal.
He has written a proposal,
I know.
yes.
I mean, about not into negotiation with anybody. Those have been a bit arrogant.
Really?
Yes. Why I'm saying a bit arrogant is this. You are in a coalition.
Okay.
I mean, and you have to be open to different propositions from others. It's not a one-man coalition because one man cannot make it. It's got to be there must be mutual agreements on the way forward. So those who are from the side should not try to scuttle it before it starts. Yes, the ideal things will be done. Those who are forming this coalition are aware of the sentiments being expressed, are aware of what Nigerians feel, and I think they will take all this into consideration before making up their minds regarding the structure of the organization. Like I said earlier, it may not even end up being this ADC, because if this same government, like we know, they have an almost an infinite capacity to do evil. I mean, if they can put in so much to see the downfall of this ADC. Yeah. So there should be
even before it even kickstarts.
Good. There should be always a plan B. So when you lay all your eggs in one basket, you run the risk of maybe at the end of the day you not even have a plan B. So there is always a plan B, and I'm sure those who are even forming this coalition have a plan B. All right. And I do not subscribe to the sentiment that Northerners they want a particular kind of stake in this issue before they concede. Everybody is feeling the pain.
Well, the influencers are flouting that line of thought.
Forget the influencers. They can talk all the crap. They have one vote. The Nigerians who are feeling the pain of this evil regime are there. They're all out there, and they know what is best for them. And I also don't agree with the foundation you laid that the president has captured the Southwest. Which Southwest?
Are you sure?
No, we are here in Lagos, and we know even when you get into public transport, go into public places, you see that the anger, the vehemence at which they talk about this man called Tinubu is scary. So he doesn't. This was a man who even lost his election in Lagos.
Well, 2023 is not going to be 2027 now.
No, what I'm trying to say is this: do not take anything for a given or for granted that he's captured the Southwest. No, the Southwest is also feeling the pangs of the evil this guy has unleashed. Yes, if you are a minister or you are the brother or sister of a minister, yes, you might be having a lot of public
do you know
fund.
why that conversation
but
is
if
ongoing?
You are the average man, the Jack Thomas on the street, you are still feeling the pain that all Nigerians are feeling.
Are you aware that the governorship, let's say local government elections in July 12, when they were having their primaries,
of which party?
Candidate of the APC in Lagos.
In Lagos, okay.
Candidates were literally selected. Most of them were selected. There were a lot of persons who were disgruntled because they felt
APC is a cult. It's not a political party.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that one of them came out categorically to say that these members, these aspirants right now, who officially after July 12 and they come in, their job is to ensure that all the local governments are in charge of, they must deliver ahead of 2027. That is what one of them said. I remember reading it on this platform. She said that what happened in 2023 cannot happen again in 2027, which will start from the grassroots, meaning that those in charge of mobilization from the grassroots, they need to ensure that they are totally 101% committed and loyal to the party, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's why that permutation is rife there, that, okay, this axis has already been captured.
Yes. But I'm telling you, it's not captured, because you can give them the money to do and capture, but you only capture the willing. You cannot capture somebody who's not willing to be captured.
Okay.
Are you going to kill them? Are you going to shoot them? And I tell you, there's a lot of discontent in the society, in the streets, even amongst the APC. Those who are not selected are not happy with the system. They are the ones that will even scuttle the so-called capture plans to capture. So, I mean, it's an evolving process. We are just starting this. In fact, the political era has not even begun with regards to 2027 elections. As for the Lagos State local government elections, they can, I mean, it's a selection process. It's been a selection process since Tinubu became governor. Nobody would say he won any elections.
All right.
Are you selected? If you're selected, yes, you stroll through into government house or into the local government secretariat. But Nigerians will have the ultimate say. And I think the maladministration of this regime, their bad governance, their very vicious economic policies has galvanized Nigerians sufficiently, and that they can bring on whatever they do. They have the army, they have the police, they have the INEC, but we have Nigeria.
All right. Well, the Obedience and a couple of others who are not in support of the Labour Party and Peter Obi are questioning him, because there are a lot of questions that is already reeled down for him to respond to. And the fact that a couple of persons who have left the movement, like for example David Hundeyin, said that he's not happy with the relationship Peter Obi has with Aisha Yesufu for her connection, her strong connection with the Bring Back Our Girls movement, which he felt she politicized and she was used sort of to scuttle the administration of Jonathan. He also felt that she was part of the malfeasance in 2023 along with him. And I remember speaking with Barrister Fred Nzako. He said that nobody should arrogate any form of whatever to themselves just because you are in support of someone and you think you have a large followership. So if you refuse to support this person, maybe then the voice or the choice of the people will not be heard. Do you think that his concern should be looked into, I don't know, forever, whatever it is he has because of Aisha Yesufu?
Well, I'm always trying to be very broad-minded on this issue.
Yes, yeah.
For us, for Nigerians, the target should be how do we remove this evil from office? And not about the individuals. Okay. And then we should be open-minded. I mean, open-minded even to the extent that if it means another person, not the individual you had in mind, we should be willing to move on. That is the reality. Okay. I mean, I need you to repeat that again. Yes. You may have Mr. A in mind, or Mr. B, or Alhaji A or Alhaji B in mind. But the issue is we need a coalition that can remove this evil from Nigerians so that we can move on. Okay. That is how it should be. One major thing to consider is INEC. Yes. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan spoke extensively after he broke the silence about INEC as an institution. Agreed. He said that INEC should not cause implosion in this country one day. Yes. He made reference to during the elections then in 2015, his polling unit, there were complaints of irregularities, malfunctioning of the Beavers machines in the south, specifically the southern area. Yes. He said his polling unit, where he went to cast his vote, and that of his wife, the stuff couldn't read their thumbprint. That's Jonathan? That's Jonathan. He said so. He eventually said so. And that he could have said, you know what, let these elections be cancelled. Because it was surprising that there was a mock test, and on the day of the election, his thumbprint couldn't be read, his wife's own, and there were complaints across the southern region that persons couldn't. But in the north, it was not the same. Voting was seamless in the north. So he made mention of INEC. He said INEC is the problem. INEC is a fundamental issue. It's an institution that has been over time utilized by the government of the day to curb or reduce or inflate elections. For example, Barrister Ezeluche, it's important, let's say it as it is, and I expect Mahmoud Yakub for integrity, it's important for integrity, to come and clear a lot of the doubts that was witnessed in 2023. Barrister, do you know... Sorry, before you go too far, let me respond to two issues. Goodluck Jonathan was politically immature.
Okay.
As at that time, and he was, I don't want to use strong words on him now, but it was very clear that he bungled into that election. He was made clear to him that, see what was going on. This Jega was already in cohort with others to ensure that you are removed, and that he was already having meetings in Saudi Arabia, that he was due for retirement, which he could have easily allowed him to go without anything, but Jonathan, for whatever reasons best known to him, kept mute. So all this is noise after the fact can be forgotten about. With regards to Mahmoud Yakubu, anybody who is talking about that man and talking of integrity is fooling himself. The guy is totally devoid of any iota of integrity. So anybody going towards these elections knows that we're dealing with a man who is devoid of integrity. That means you don't trust what he's saying, you don't trust what he's going to do, because all the trust we reposed in this character were bungled with the last elections. He was going all over the world, even this Chatham House, to the US, swearing by whatever he held sacrosanct, that the beavers will count, the IREV and all those things will work. But on the day of election, he just told it, if you don't like it, go to court. So anybody dealing with the next elections and talking about the integrity of Mahmoud Yakubu is fooling himself.
No, by the next election, Mahmoud Yakubu will no longer be there.
No, but he could be there. But what I'm just saying is, we just have to realize these things.
No, he will no longer be there.
Okay, even if he's there, he's not there. Whoever is there, don't rely on their integrity, but rather police the votes, police the polling units. And then if anybody wants to steal your stuff, steal your life, because that is what it is now.
Exactly.
Nigerians must realize that your votes are your life. The votes that were stolen from us in 2023 is what is leading to mass casualties, deaths, ethnic cleansing in the Middle Belt, insecurity in the Southeast. It is the result of the votes that were stolen from us during the presidential elections in 2023. So if anybody tries to steal your votes on that day, take it as that person wants to steal your family from you.
All right.
And whatever you need to do to safeguard your family, do to that person at the polling booth. Do not wait. Do not say, let us wait until they go to the next level. Because these last elections have taught us a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
Nigerians were complacent. We are saying, okay, at the next stage, at the courts, what stupid courts? The courts proved to be useless.
Yeah, barrister.
No.
That's your proving, sir.
No, yes, I know, but I'm using those words emphatically.
Okay.
The courts proved to be stupid for the last elections.
You can't use stupid.
Our
courts are meant to be.
It is not your words. It is my words, and I'm using it. So the system proved very helpless. Did not do what it should do. And when you have a system that is not doing what it should do, you can use whatever adjective to qualify it. If the police is not policing, they could be called robbers. That is how it is. That is reality.
Okay.
When they do good, we applaud them. But when they do bad, we tell them they've done horribly wrong. So Nigerians should move to the next election not with any hope of integrity on the face of the person of the INEC chairman, but realizing that that vote they are casting must be protected, must count, and they follow it up. That's how it's done.
Okay. Where I was heading was the fact that if you had noticed what happened in the previous election in 2023 and the off-season elections of, I think, Bayelsa, Kogi, and another state as well. There were about 3 states that there were off-season elections. We saw that after the 2023 elections, there was no change.
It got worse.
It was worse. We saw broad daylight robbery of people's votes.
Yes.
The security personnel attached to polling units inflated results. In fact, they carted away voting materials and election materials as well.
Yes.
That's not the only thing. INEC officials were seen literally writing on the ballot.
Shamelessly.
It was videoed and all of that. We thought that INEC would have actually cancelled that Austin election. They did not. Mahmoud Yakub went ahead to just continue call out the vote, which brought the authenticity and transparency of that election to a very big question.
Yes.
So Nigerians have been calling for major electoral reforms, which ends at the stable of the National Assembly, obviously to the assent of the president. So with what we know the electoral reform is supposed to be about in terms of ensuring transparency and certain things that need to be updated, do we think this current National Assembly will expedite the electoral reform process, because INEC said there are a couple of updates on the whatever that they've submitted to the National Assembly. And do you think the president too will take his time to quickly assent to this so that is done with and is quickly implemented before the timetable, official timetable for registration, elections and all whatnot is released by INEC?
No, there's no need for electoral reforms. We've done too many of those kind of rubbish for too long, and it's wasteful. It's time wasting. The elections are the same all over the world. You go, you cast your votes, it gets counted, and you follow it up. So all these electoral reforms, I mean, for how long? We should take ourselves serious. And who is going to do the electoral reform? Is it the Speaker of the House, Abbas, or the President of the Senate, Akpabio, that will be singing lullabies for Tinubu? So if we don't waste time on such issues, let the current electoral laws stay. Because the reforms proved useless compared with the one of 2019 elections.
Okay.
And so on. So let us talk about, let the elections hold.
All right.
But let Nigerians know that you have a vote. When you are 20 in a polling unit and 20 of you cast your votes, you should have a total of 20 votes. If it becomes 200 votes, you ask questions at that spot and put a stop to that nonsense there. So that's how it should be.
All right, Barrister, as a staff of the Abuja Geographic Information System, Mariga Hassan Shaharu has been arrested by the police in Abuja amid a hunt for the source who linked information to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike over alleged theft of Abuja land for his children.
Yes.
Shaharu, who works with the Fresh Application Unit of AGIS, was arrested on Tuesday afternoon by a team of police detectives. Now, his whereabouts remain unknown as of this morning, today being Wednesday this morning, which are raising fears and concerns amongst his family members that he could be facing torture or worse. People's Gazette on 2 different occasions disclosed an expose that massive lands, that the FCT minister took from certain persons are being allocated to his children. The other one is for Joaquin, and then the other guy, Joan or something. Both of them. Hectares of land amounting to billions of dollars, allocated to his sons. Yes, and Wike came out to deny it. Larry Olainka, his spokesperson, came out to deny it. But as it stands right now, this stuff, apparently there's a leak. Somebody is giving this information. People's Gazette wouldn't have brought up that information if they were not getting authentic source. In fact, they brought the documents. Of his son and everything, which he's trying to deny.
Yes.
But this particular person now has been taken away by the security operatives. They don't know his whereabouts. Does this not authenticate the allegation that indeed this is what Wike is doing? Because why would you take somebody away from their home and take them to an undisclosed location for leaking the secret? Well,
Wike is a character, and I think even you don't need to be a genius to know that his end is near politically, even with this regime. I think some reports also said the President Bola Tinubu set up a panel to inquire into that issue.
Okay.
And so I believe he's just been stupid. I mean, you don't like the use of that word. But there are things that happen in this country that you don't have any other thing to qualify it with. When something is just plain blank dense, you now wonder what it is. When you allocate such huge tracts of land to people who are barely teenagers, you leave the next government coming into office with no other choice than to revoke such nonsense. I mean, it's going to happen. So whoever maybe is trying to sell it off in the interim so that anybody who buys into such is wasting his time. That's why the next government will definitely come and revoke all such malfeasance. I mean, it's unfortunate.
Let's listen to the FCTA staff. They called Nyesom Wike quite a lot of names. I want us to just listen to this.
That runs the vein of Wike, the FCT minister, is callous, is so wicked, so sadistic, is inhuman. He takes sadistic pleasure to see mankind, anything that has 2 legs, we cannot have no respect for that person. All the permanent secretaries, the directors, there is no overhead. They fear him like lion. Pardon? Yes. We pray that our demand should not even be met, so that we'll teach him a lesson. He will never enter here, can't cross here. And he trusts us. Let me tell you something. The former minister, what you've seen here It's a peaceful mammoth crowd of the staff of the FCT administration and the Federal Capital Development Agency, FCDA.
So these individuals came out today and they said they were going to teach Nyesom a lesson. VDM2 staged a protest because of teachers whose salaries have not been paid. This is a person that the president has given a lot of encomiums as to his capacity as a FCT minister. So now a lot of Nigerians are attributing this brigandage to what will be taken into 2027 during the elections, like what happened in Rivers State during the 2023 elections.
Yes.
So Barrister Eze Eluche, there are concerns by a lot of Nigerians as to what it would take as for the administration of the day to continue with governance. For example, infrastructure. So a lot of roads, specifically in Lagos, that you have a lot of commercial activities take place are in disrepair.
Yes.
Roads, we've heard complaints here. Festac, Isolo, Okota, some of the roads are terrible. In fact, in Festac, they said you can't move. There's no road there. The roads are so dilapidated that it's because the federal government road, it's been completely abandoned. And I asked a question on this platform. I said, when will they write and give message, whatever petition they need to write through the CDAs, through the state government, through the local government, anyhow, to get the attention of the federal government on that road? And a couple of them said they have, but it's like there's a deliberate measure for that road in that access not to be taken care of. Why is that so? Is that not the function and the primary responsibility of government?
Well, that is the function of primary responsibility of government that was elected by the people. But then when people steal their way into power, they don't owe you a dime.
Barrister, do you have any proof that this administration stole its way into power? You keep repeating that statement.
Sure. I have the proof.
You have proof?
Yes. Proof
that it stole their way into power.
Steal your way to power when you rig elections, that's stealing. When you take votes that don't belong to you, that's stealing. If they did it in Lagos, they did it in Rivers, they did it in virtually all other states, that is stealing. You steal your way into power by accumulation of stolen votes. So when you steal your way into power, you don't owe the people a dime. So that's what was going on in Nigeria. So Nigerians must ensure that at the next election, the people that actually get into government are those who they elect into government. Otherwise, we will have worse of this. There's no need to not complain or not act when your votes are stolen, and then you only live 4 years of penury, of dejection. In other parts of the world, when there is electoral malpractice, when people get into office by stolen votes, people come out on the streets and say enough is enough. But Nigerians would rather go inside and go and wave, cry and sleep, and wake up the next day hungrier. So the reality is this: if you want the good roads, if you want public health systems to work, if you want the education system to work, you have to do the right thing. Come out and vote out evil, and enthrone justice in governance. Interesting. Yes.
So,
with regards to the question you asked about Wike,
yes,
and all those the man making all the comments, and the kind of powers that Bola Tinubu has given him, and your colleagues poured on him, I don't expect anything less from Mr. Bola Tinubu, because like say birds of the same feather flock together. So for him to glorify Wike is expected. I mean, what else? This is a man who took his main, the person who was here, known as his main thug or main tout, is now in Abuja. So Tinubu selects those who he wants to be around him. But unfortunately for us as Nigerians, we see the very calamity we're now living in, because these people have disrupted our lives. They have degraded the lives of Nigerians. They have made the quality of living in Nigeria very, very poor. So we should all work together and ensure that this nonsense does not go beyond 2027.
Interested.
Yes.
The ICPC and other related offences commission is currently investigating the chairman of Lagos Island East Local Council Development Area. His name is Muibi Folawiyo. They are alleging his involvement in large-scale corruption. This is the first time in this administration I'm actually seeing them investigate a local government chairman, especially in Lagos. There's someone who is still serving.
Yes.
It tells you that corruption must have been so glaring that it cannot be covered up.
No. It tells me that maybe he has stepped on the toes of Bola Tinubu. Simple. Not that.
Wow.
Yes, because we have had more humongous sums stolen in other places and nothing has happened. So this young man most likely may not even be as dirty as he's been painted. But what it tells me, if the ICPC can leave all the ministers in Abuja and come and go after a local government chairman in Lagos. It just tells me that maybe this young man has stepped on some toes and they want to teach him a lesson. Simple.
Barrister, you just admitted that so long as you're in the good books of the APC, you can go ahead with your brigandage and corruption. Nobody comes against you.
I didn't admit it. Oshiomhole told it to us when he was chairman of APC. He told it point blank that once you declare for APC, your sins are forgiven. And that was why people like Akpabio jumped over and their sins are forgiven. And many of those other people who were undergoing EFCC trials, when they jump over, their sins are forgiven. And that's why nobody takes the AFCC chairman serious. Because one of he's protecting those who are criminals, actually. And he's allowing those who are, just going after the small boys who are trying to eke out a living.
Barrister, the rate of cultism, specifically in the South and Southwest, is alarming. A report just emerged, concerning how the cult activities has taken a lot of lives.
Yes.
Immeasurably.
Yes.
Cut off a lot of young boys. They said no fewer than 1,686 people were killed in at least 909 incidents of gang violence across Nigeria from January 2020 to March 2025. And I'm sure these figures they're not even up to date. Because I think it's more than that. There was a time somebody was calling here where along that first axis, there was a lot of gang-related activities ongoing there. According to the report by SBM Intelligence, it was released on Tuesday, Rivers State topped the fatality charts with 215 deaths, followed by Lagos, 197 deaths, and Edo, all strongholds of long-standing cult and gang rivalries. And the names of this cult, whatever it is, they call them Vikings, Icelanders, Aye, I hope I called that right. Aye, that's EIYE.
Yes.
And Black Axe, Greenlanders. The report indicates that the South region alone recorded over 750 deaths, largely driven by violent cult rivalries in Rivers Delta and Bayelsa. While in the Southwest, over 491 fatalities were documented, particularly in Lagos and Ogun State, both witnessing recurrent clashes between the Aye and Aye confraternities. And then in the Southeast region, notably Anambra State, witnessed significant violence with over 215 deaths attributed to increasing Viking and Aye cult-related activities. What is this? There was a time we saw this gang, I think somewhere in Dubai. It was a bloodbath.
Yes.
They carried from here to Dubai. What is the benefit of this group of persons? What is the meaning of this?
No, you see, when you have unexplained wealth, people, it's related to bad politics, bad governance. When somebody who just enters politics becomes wealthy overnight, and then he has blown, it sort of gives a wrong signal to the youth that perhaps you need to have a group or you need to belong to a cult to be able to be a man. And then it's not as if you have to achieve much, just have a gang around you that will protect your interest. So it is the dirt that has occurred in our political space that has not transcended or descended to this greater society. And the youths are, without knowing better, just attach themselves to the same kind of impression which they think that their political leaders or the political rulers already have. So until we get governance right, this sad spectacle of cultism will continue. And there's nothing we can do about it. So if you're interested in all those things, if you're interested in getting a good society, a drug-free society, cultism-free, work and be interested in who becomes your president. If, for instance, your president has a track record of paying fines for drug trafficking,
Barrister, we have ministers that are responsible for these segments, that controls this. There are ministers. My question is, for example, Barrister Ezeluche said that the president cannot be everywhere. That's the reason why he appointed certain persons. And the people you appoint to work for you reflect who you are.
Beautiful.
Right? They reflect your person.
Good.
They reflect your principles. Or reflect whatever audacious stand that you represent.
That's right.
If these people are falling short of their responsibility, why are the people not calling them out, especially the supporters? Because there's a major problem with the supporters. They seem like fanatics. There is nothing wrong. You don't call out these individuals responsible for these sectors because they're the ones that will make the administration of the day successful. The president alone cannot do it. So would we say these supposed cabinet members of the president, who are supposedly his loyalists, and in turn sabotaging his administration inadvertently?
No, listen. You see, those you call supporters are paid attack dogs. Paid higher.
You think that there are no one that genuinely supports him?
I mean, you can't support evil unless you're evil yourself. Most of them get paid, and they paid stipend. Some are in 15,000, 20,000 a month, or even 30,000, based on their maybe the number of likes or the number of whatever they get. So these are the characters that we have. So when their principal is doing evil or doing whatever, they are duty bound to flow along, to support, to praise him to the high heavens. Let me give you a critical example. When Mr. President introduced his classmate from university, and it turned out to be somebody who was only 13 years. Yes. These same characters were busy applauding him. Oh, you say Mr. President did not go to university. Now there's a classmate. When the fact was revealed that this classmate could not have been a classmate, that it was still the same president telling lies, what did they do? Did they condemn the president? No, they can't condemn the president because their next meal depends on that. So, I mean, you don't call them supporters. They are paid attack dogs. And once you realize that, you now understand why when you have a tainted character at the helm of affairs, and he has to appoint those who are in his mold at various offices, at various ministries, you won't be surprised if he also appoints tainted characters. And the taint continues to flow all the way down, and that's why the society is so messed up as it is.
All right. So finally, before I open the phone lines, what would you say about Peter Obi's submitting his one-term proposal? Because there is this unwritten agreement and partnership. The North and the South.
Yes.
You do 8 years, the South does 8 years. And, we've not had anyone from the Southeast emerge in a very long time. I think that's another angle a lot of persons are looking at. So, in accordance with the unwritten power sharing agreement and the zoning concept, any Southern presidential candidate who wins the next election must be ready to step down on May 28, 2031. On parallel facts, Peter Obi said he would step down not on the 29th, possibly on the 27th or even 28th, he would leave.
Yes.
He also used the opportunity to say that he's possible to do something tangible in 2 years, like he can change whatever in 2 years, which a lot of persons said, you're lying. You're not saying the truth. You're overselling and you're desperate. You claim not to be desperate for power, but with the remark you just made and the fact that you're willing to join this coalition with certain persons whom you know do not have a clean antecedent, that you're also part of the group of persons who are desperate.
Yes.
So, do you think he oversold it? Is it possible to do any tangible change in Nigeria in 2 years, considering the complexity of our challenges and the rot in the system in 2 years? So do you think he oversold himself, or you see it as something very viable to do with the real right political will?
Thank you very much. The late sage, Obafemi Awolowo, always said he wanted to just be president for 1 day. And I assure you, in that 1 day, he would have done what he wanted to do. Now, it is if you have a man of ideas, you don't need to be there for 100 years to make necessary changes. Somebody like Thomas Sankara, how long was he president of Burkina Faso to effect changes? Even the young man, Ibrahim Traore, how long has he been in office? And look at the gigantic changes he's effecting. Back to even in America, for instance, you had a system that was on for over 250 years. Donald Trump came. Within a first 100 days, he impacted seriously on the American system. So you don't need to be there for 100 years to do whatever. Obasanjo was there for 8 years. What happened? No, absolutely nothing. Buhari was there for 8 years. It was 8 years of retardation and retrogression. And he was even trying to stay longer. So if Mr. Peter Obi has said he wants to stay for 4 years, I think he's a man who has integrity. And if he has made such pronouncements, he knows what he's saying, what he wants to do. And can he effect change in Nigeria in the first
2 years?
2 years? Certainly. The current president, Bola Tinubu, he destroyed Nigeria in 1 day. On the day he was made president.
Because he said fuel subsidy is gone?
That was what destroyed the economy. And he made two comments, actually. Not only he removed subsidy without any safety catch, he also made the naira float.
But he's used that as a strong tool.
I will use those things. I will still revert back to my usual word for such actions. They were stupid acts, and we saw the extent of that stupidity immediately.
Okay, why do you say they were stupid acts? All the presidential aspirants and candidates said they were going to remove fuel subsidy.
Good. They said they would remove, but they didn't say they would do it in 1 day, and they didn't say there would be no safety catch before they remove. Or to say, look, if I remove, see where it will be, the money will be going to. This one removed, and we're still removing, and nothing has happened. The money has gone to private pockets. So that's why I say you can make change. Now, if he had made positive remarks on day one, that could have revolutionized Nigeria's economy. Look at Ghana. Let's not even go too far. How long has the new president been in office? Less than 1 year, and already he has reversed the economic. He has reversed the fortune of Ghana from one that was depleting to someone that something is going up. So let us not talk of 10 years or whatever. A man who has ideas can change the trajectory of a society in the first 1 month. So if Mr. Peter Obi says he's going to do it in 4 years, I agree with him. If he's given a chance, I believe he will do what he said he will do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get your reaction. It's 70 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock, and I would like to get to hear what you have to say, and questions will be posed to Barrister Eze Eluche. The number to call is 080-3692-9933 or 0700-903-903-903. All right, I'll call the number slowly again. You either call 080-3692-9933 or 0700-903-903-903 or the WhatsApp number 0817-1756-338. The WhatsApp number is for you to send your messages right there. So if you're joining us for the very first time, that's the WhatsApp number 0817-1756-338. The number to call 0700-903-903-903 or 080-3692-9933. All right, so I would like to take your submissions right about now. Hello, good evening, welcome to the Evening Rush. How are you? Hello.
Good evening, Mr. This is Issa.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Thank you very much. I greet your guest.
Thank you so much. What's your name, sir?
My name is Madam Bello Usman. I am calling you currently from Abdullah Adamu Fan, KP, Nasarawa State.
Wow, well done, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. You see, let's be sincere to ourselves. I am not too much conversant with the Bible, but the story of APC in Nigeria today is like the story of Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible when God Almighty has gone out of the Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, became a beast in the wilderness.
Yes.
Without respect, without regard of anything. So the God Almighty today and the people of Nigeria are not happy with APC. APC is even worse. The APC government is even worse than Nebuchadnezzar. The only thing that you can compare with APC government in Nigeria today that is the most fearful in this world is COVID-19. I am one of the vocal supporters of this APC government. I traveled from Lagos to Lafia National State, where I cast my vote for this government, but I apologize to your guest, Anofike, the other day that by this time, all of us that supported this government, APC, by now we're supposed to be wearing hijab to cover our face. Do you know? Because I didn't know that this man doesn't mean well for Nigeria at all. But by the grace of Almighty God, come 2027 election, inshallah, before 12 o'clock, on Monday, either on Monday or Sunday, that INEC usually announce the election, Nigeria will say bye-bye to Tinubu and APC for their jack. This is nonsense. Nigeria has never got it too hard like this. But by the grace of God, I pray and I also beg Obi and Atiku not to take Nigeria for granted. They should please rescue Nigeria from the hands of these evil people, because Nigeria needs them at this point in time. APC is the most, in fact, I don't know how to describe them. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. All right, thank you. Wow, you can feel that.
I mean, that is, you see, Nigerians using the right words. Evil. I mean, you don't mince words.
What if something changes between now and
who will change? Come
you can't tell.
Come on. You don't teach an old dog new tricks. Bola Tinubu has been at this for more than how many years? You can't teach him new tricks.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Yes.
Hello, good evening. Am I on to VOP?
Yes, sir, you're on to VOP, sir. What's your name, please?
Okay, my name is David.
Your name is?
Hello? Can you hear me?
You said your name is what, sir?
King David, calling from Tuesday.
All right, King David, please go ahead.
Okay. I've checked your guest there, the barrister. I agree with him. See, when you have an idea, you don't need so much time for you to prove it. It's just like a brilliant student.
Yes.
Entering into a classroom or example, he doesn't need all the time the vigilators have set for you to make your point and submit your paper.
That's right.
So Peter be saying that he wants one term, that they should give him 4 years to fit Nigeria. I believe he can do it, because if you don't have an idea, even if you have been given
100 years,
you will still be running around.
That's true.
But if you know your way, I believe that you don't need all the time or all the years to make your point. Thank you. I'm a first-time caller.
Oh wow, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in, okay? Thank you for calling. 08036929933. That's the number to call. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you? Turn down the volume of your radio. Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Very fine, sir.
Welcome.
I'm calling from Ejigbo.
From Ejigbo?
Yes.
All right, please go ahead, sir.
What play out today for the Coronation Center show you what will happen in 2027.
Okay.
Tinubu is a very soccer man. As to the coronation people are planning and Nigerians are planning, he's also planning. But let not God let Tinubu win 2027. The condition Nigeria is now is very, very far better. If Tinubu and Wike win 2027, Nigerians, I don't wish to say anything, but Nigerians will see the real color of Tinubu, because he knows everybody hates him, nobody will vote him, but if with his trick he entered the 2027, Nigeria will see the next side of Tinubu. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Well, it's for Nigerians to say it's not going to be there.
That's the thing.
Like in Igbo language, we have a saying that one man can cook for the community, but the community cannot. If the community cooks for one person, the person will not finish it.
So do you think this coalition's operation of take down Tinubu 2027 will be as effective with the persons there? Do we see that being a plausible thing that will take shape?
Let's call it take down evil.
Okay.
We're not personalizing it, because we know, just like he's a mere mortal.
No, they're not saying it. They have been saying that it is to take down Tinubu.
No, I'm saying it's not. We can't take down Tinubu. It's like me. I'm not even sure I'll be alive tomorrow.
No,
so
not in that regard. Like to ensure that he doesn't get re-elected, or he's not there in 2027.
In all regards, he may not be there tomorrow. That is how life is.
Okay.
So,
Life is
as for taking him out of the place,
okay,
Nigerians have insisted that they will have to take evil out of government.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello. Okay, we lost that connection. 08036929933. That's the number to call. 08036929933. All right, and the WhatsApp number is 0817175638. Some of you are trying to call on WhatsApp. I don't know. It's like when your call comes in, it just goes off. It comes in and goes off. It trips off. So you should call the normal line. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Esther.
Good evening, Sam. Fine, Sam. Turn down the... Oh, God. Please call back. All right? Please, always turn off your radio. Always turn off your radio. Okay? 08036929933. That is the number for you to call, or 0700-903-903-903. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello? Hello? All right, 08036929933. That's the number to call, or 0700-903-903-903. The ADC officially, all the leadership resigned today, and they adopted a new set of council members to be at the helm of affairs. Peter Obi submitted his proposal for one term. So, what do you think? Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello?
Yes. Hello, good evening. Welcome. What's your name?
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Please. Yeah.
What is your name?
I want to join the conversation on what we are discussing.
Yes, what's your name?
My name is Samuel. I'm calling from Ikoyi.
All right, Samuel, please go ahead.
Okay. Please help me ask your guest or something like that. What did Peter Obi do for the 8 years when he was a governor in Anambra State? I know that nobody is happy about this, what is going on in this country. But ask them, what did Peter Obi do? When they talk now, say
between 3 years, if he was in president, he could do more than all these things. What did he do for the 8 years when he was the governor in Anambra State?
Well,
all these people, both Peter Obi, the former vice president, all of them, they are always the same thing. Nothing that we offer this Nigeria. We want a new person, not all this old cargo. Let them come out. Nothing that we do that cannot help us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know how old you are, but your voice sounds maybe older than Peter Obi himself. But the issue is this: Nigeria is structured in a way that most of the pie is centered in the center, in the federal government. But if you go to Anambra, I'm sure the people of Anambra will tell you what Peter Obi did in their state, and then if he wants to replicate such things in the center, that's okay.
All right.
But the answer to that is in going to Anambra to ask them what he did in their state.
All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir.
This is Paul from Egbeda.
Paul from Egbeda. Paul, please go ahead.
Yeah, the coalition they formed today is a welcome development.
Okay.
Very, very, very big relief.
Okay.
In fact, they should be able to advertise, let us know where their wards are so that we can go and register.
Okay.
Because the continuation of APC means that life go tire man. Honestly, it's not as if anybody hates me. I don't hate Tinubu.
Okay.
But the policies of Tinubu have rendered millions of people useless. And the 16 years of PDP was like a paradise compared to where we are today. In fact, my friend was saying, if we had known, nobody would have asked, if not that it's constitutional, asked Buhari to go. The policy is against the masses. How can you remove the fuel subsidy and you are giving it to governors? They are richer, defecting. We can't speak. If you talk, you get arrested. And it's democracy, a democratic government suspending an elected governor. Supreme Court are not giving judgment that.
Hello? Paul from Egbeda, did you get a call? He's calling on WhatsApp, so I think he got a call.
Okay.
Yeah, he got a call. All right, Mr. Paul, kindly call the normal line later, okay? 080-3692-9933. That's the number to call. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello?
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, sir?
My name is Praise.
Your name is?
Praise. I'm calling from Chicago.
Okay, I didn't hear your name, but go ahead.
I said my name is Praise.
Praise.
Yes, I'm calling from Badago.
All right, Praise. Please go ahead then.
Good evening to you, guys.
Yeah, good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine. So, quickly, I don't think. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you. Are you putting your thoughts together? Go ahead, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, I said the situation of things in Ukraine is challenge. Everybody knows. It's not even about that now. Everybody knows. But like this they let us talk to then they will do this. But I believe 2027 that the masses will rise up. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I just think God will open.
All right, thank you. He's fading in and out. 080-3692-9933. That's the number to call, or 080-700-903-903-903. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Hello?
I can hear you, sir. What's your name, please?
Hello, is that Voice of the People?
Yes, this is Voice of the People, sir. Can you hear me? What is your name?
Okay, yes. I'm here. My name is Cody. I'm calling from Agbara.
From Agbara. Please go ahead,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Yes, your line is so difficult to get. How many lines do you have?
We have.
Trying for the
Sorry, a lot of persons
Yes,
are calling
so
too.
difficult.
A lot of persons
Yes.
are also trying to get across.
I'm very happy with this, the analysis the barrister, your studio is giving.
Okay.
He has been perfect about the way he has analyzing what is happening in the country. But before I go to the main issue, you know that the last election, I'm a Yoruba man.
Okay.
I was pushed away from my polling booth when I wanted to vote for Labour Party.
Wow.
Because my appearance does not look like a one person. They chased me away from there. You understand?
Wow.
And there was a policeman beside me. He didn't say anything. I kept quiet. I went home. You understand? But if we are going to effect a change in this country, the coalition they are having now, this man in place, what we call him Atiku, he should keep away his political ambition. Let us have Peter Obi. You understand? Let them be behind him. Because we are all behind Peter Obi. You understand? If we don't do that, this coalition will not work. I'm just saying it. If Atiku should continue to have that ambition, we can succeed.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's a very.
That is what I have to say.
The concept?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think the age is also a factor. I mean, I don't know how old
Atiku
is now.
Okay.
But I think we need at this stage everybody should come together and rally around the coalition.
Rally around the coalition before they choose somebody.
In due course, the proper choices will be made. Because I think everybody wants better for Nigeria.
They're all retaining their parties. For example.
Do they have parties now? Because PDP has been non-existent for some time.
There's a lot of them that is in this APC.
Yeah, you have a card-carrying party, card-carrying member, but it doesn't.
Yes, okay. All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Festus, calling from Janiki.
From Ijaniki. That's amazing. Welcome, please.
Yes, sir.
Please
the barrister.
Good evening, sir.
The barrister, you speak my mind. Okay. You are a very perfect man. Yes, you are a very, very perfect man.
Only God is perfect, sir.
Okay. So the way you discuss about this matter today is okay.
Okay.
The only thing is what I'm still doubting is that Tinubu, we don't want him in 2027 again. We don't want him again. Because we have already spoiled this country. So, in the election period, in fact, the only thing that I'm doubting, because of the ENEC and other people, can manipulate everything. That's the only fear I have now.
Okay.
My brother, listen.
Yeah, that's the only fear I have. Any other thing, I don't care any other thing again.
Okay.
In other parts of the world, elections take place, and people insist on their votes being counted.
Okay.
And they insist and they succeed. But the problem with us in Nigeria is that we always go back to our houses and say, okay, let them do what they want to do.
No, but you know what they call voter intimidation most times at the polls.
How many?
A couple of persons. You saw the other woman. They almost removed her eye.
I know, but look, the entire number of Nigerian policemen and soldiers is less than 1 million. And Nigeria is over 200 million. I mean, we should have that in mind. The entire number of Nigerian policemen, in fact, 1 million is too high. I don't think it's up to even 800,000.
Parisa, do you think the supporters of the government are demarketing them rather than having to promote them in good light? When they use...
You can't market trash. This government is evil. What are you going to market? Are you going to market the hunger in the land? Are you going to market the lack of schooling? Okay, in Abuja, there is no school in primary school for the past 2-3 months. So what are you really going to market? Are you going to market the downturn in the value of the naira? Are you going to market the fact that it now costs up to 8 million for even the minimum fairly used card coming from abroad? What are you going to really market about these characters in office? So, I mean, those guys who are marketing, who are selling them...
Like there's no hope. Rah.
With this system, with these characters, a man who goes to St. Lucia to do what?
Hello.
For the past 8... Come on. And you
say bilateral relations, diplomatic relations.
Sir.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing now?
I did, sir. Well done, sir.
I just say you don't block me now.
Why go block you now? Why?
Anytime I call your number, you know they go.
No, now you know that people complain that a lot of calls are coming in. I know it's you.
First of all, I want to ask you, why is your station? Why are you guys not talking about the distress in the southeast? Yesterday they killed Ebonyi people, fellow Igbos. They killed about 13 Ebonyi people.
Did you listen to the show yesterday?
You guys did not talk about that.
Did you listen to the show yesterday?
This Lamba man that you guys are marketing, this Abacha Foster boy, Peter Obi, was he not the one that ruled Anambra for 8 years?
Oh, good.
I was in Oka. I saw the way this man ruled. Nothing significant. It was Ngige that brought transformation to that state. So this barrister that you're saying that they should go to Anambra and ask Anambra people. Me, as Onyofi Manu, I told Oka, I said I need to say,
and went to Nibo everywhere. I knew everything. This guy is just number. What did he do? If he did something significant, why are all the Igbo youths now rushing down to Lagos and all these Yoruba?
Why are you talking? There are other members in the coalition. No? You didn't call any other member. You just called to attack one person. What about the other members?
Also, for Barrister that is even talking in this thing place. Before I even talk about that one too, see the Darlington of the other one. The other
Darlington is not here.
Hold on.
Don't call Darlington now. Don't call Darlington today. No.
Malami, the sponsor of Boko Haram, that made them to arrest his brother Nnamdi Kanu. Is that one a reasonable barrister? I surprise you. Then this other one too that is in the studio now. Why should you be using such a vulgar word to the Nigerian bar, calling the bar stupid? That is very wrong of you. You are a barrister, for goodness sake. Don't insult the law. Thank you.
Are you true? Good. Let me respond to his questions one by one.
Today is a lover of
to start with, the killing of 10 Ebonyi youths
yesterday
in Anambra, I think most likely that most other false flag operations.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you, most other false flag operations, when you track it down, people like Asari Dokubo have been saying that they will kill the Igbos, water, and all that.
Are you
stuff.
saying there's no truth to that?
No, I'm not saying it's not true.
Okay.
I'm saying that they have been killed, their deaths occurred, but who did the killing?
They said they're investigating.
Yes. My dear, if you know how security checkpoints are all over the southeast, and there are shootings of that nature in a particular place, and no security man could stop them, you are forced to wonder. The security men there, did they just go on leave for that 10 minutes when that operation took place? And if they did, who authorized that kind of going on leave? That's one. Secondly, on the issue of Peter Obi and what he did in Anambra State, the proper thing is go and ask those in Anambra State. Like I said earlier, you will govern Nigeria from the center. If, for instance, the center refuses to block funds to a particular state, you can't do jack.
Barrister.
Nigeria is supposedly called a federation.
Barrister.
When in reality it's a unitary republic.
Barrister, all I've heard you say here is not to support anybody. You've been saying rally around the coalition.
Simple.
That's why I said Tunde has a personal beef for Barrister Darlington and Peter Obi.
Yeah, but
because if you had been paying attention to us since yesterday, we talked about this killings. And then I've been listening to you here. You've been encouraging, I'm even the one that has been mentioning Peter Obi more often. Yes. You've been talking about rallying around the coalition.
But at the appropriate time, you do what needs necessary. And with regards to the name I call on the judiciary, and I don't, not really the bar, if we need to have a better bar, a better judiciary, what we have now is an apology. In the state where I practice, about 9 judges in the state high court were seen to have falsified their ages.
Yeah,
so, I mean, will you call that? I even go before such characters to say, my lord, it's a shame. So we should be very factual to ourselves. That I'm a lawyer does not mean I must say what is good.
You're going to attend the NBA conference, right?
I don't usually attend the NBA conference.
You have to attend, so you call them out. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
I am fine.
Yes.
Welcome.
Sorry, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I agree with your point. The major problem that we have for this country now is INEC. INEC is our problem. But we continue to try our best. The major problem, the wahala we for this country now is INEC. This for this wahala. People are suffering. People are dying. Hungry day for this country continue is increasing every day by day.
Oh yes.
Every day by day, hungry people are dying.
No, when you realize the
God
cost,
will take control.
When you realize the cost of ordinary malaria medicines now, and you understand how many people are dying every day.
Not just ordinary. Hey,
no, why I'm saying malaria is, as we even hear, mosquito is biting everywhere. Antibiotics is something else. In Ventolin, which is for asthmatic patients, it's also very high. So people are really dying. And then when you say the problem is INEC, you now ask yourself, does INEC equate to the lives we are losing? Why can't we now go after that INEC and show that INEC announces the votes that are counted?
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Dr. Prince.
Your name is what, sir?
Dr. Prince.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Prince from Ojo.
Dr. Prince from Ojo. Please go ahead, sir.
My greetings to your guest.
Thank you very much.
Barrister, yes.
Good day, sir.
I like his statement that people should rally around the coalition. That's the first thing to do now.
That's right.
Very, very important. You don't have to cross the bridge until you get to it.
Very
After coming together, then they go ahead to pick their officials, how they want the whole thing to be. But my concern now is that he said something that people should defend their votes.
That's right.
Dr. Azikiwe, the late said it's only a madman that can confront somebody that is armed, like a military officer.
Good.
One man with gun can scare away 2,000 people at once.
Agreed.
See, there are going to be terrible voters intimidation by APC 2027. So my simple advice is that the opposition, anyhow they know they are going to help their people do the voting without being intimidated, let them go ahead and do it. It's not going to be a talk shop. They are go there, vote, defend your vote. Nobody wants to die at the polling unit. It's as simple as that.
My dear, before you drop.
So I'm coming so that the ruling party.
Okay.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, go ahead.
The ruling party will use the police, use the military, use area boys, use thugs as much as possible for the purpose of stopping the vote from people.
Hello?
Yeah, but yes, go ahead. But you see, what you're saying is this. You said it's only a madman that will stop a man with a gun. But you also realize that a hungry man is a madman. So the equation balances out. It's for us to decide, are you willing to be subdued by that one day and die for over 4 years? Or put a stop to that nonsense on that election day? Other countries have done it. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
All right. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Adanka.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Good evening to your guest.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, sir?
Good evening, Anka.
I can hear you, sir. Please go ahead. What's your name?
Okay, yes. Let me come. Somebody was attacking the barrister over there.
Yes, Barrister and Barrister Darlington.
Yes. If the barrister said because stupid, yes, because in Imo State, number 4 become number 1.
Yes, that's right.
And that was stupidity.
Of course.
Then not only that, the Supreme Court could not interpret A and D.
And yes.
The man that called from the Senator was using some recovery against the barrister there. A and D, and they could not interpret it. And they could not interpret it. They let his son, any of the child go to exam and they say, what is our competition say, what is A and D? The child will not say A and D is that. He will call that child a stupid child. Not only that, look at the former one of the senators. Because I was talking that when his son was the president of the appeal court, that the first penny judgment. The first penny judgment. That's not stupidity. What do you call it? And they are suffering today because of this kind of judiciary we have. And you are saying I call it the judiciary. What now? If the person deserve any abuse, you can abuse the person because already they call themselves name. So not the barrister calling them name. They call themselves that name. So I want to join Nigeria against that. This coalition should be supported. Let us run around them and stop all statements and grab bigotry.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me take some messages right now. I'm going to start from YouTube. Okay. Obed Oji says, Obed, thank you. Thank you so much for your compliment. I thank you so much. He says, Analyst Eluche, can people's vote count? Do you think the government of the day will allow the votes to count? What do you think the people will do to thwart this plan of the ruling party? Abidin says, Peter Obi's desperation is palpable.
What you do is you make sure your vote counts.
Okay. Peter Obi's desperation is palpable, but can Atiku, El-Rufai and others truly trust his one-term promise? The answer is likely no. It seems Atiku and El-Rufai have ulterior motives. It's how quick... Okay. Bobby Uzoma, they should go to Chatham House and expose INEC and Tinubu to the world. Abidin goes again.
No, they shouldn't go to Chatham House for goodness sake.
All right. Abidin Ademo says...
no British Prime Minister comes to campaign in Nigeria.
I don't know why they like going there.
I don't know why they go there. It's actually useless.
All right. Abidin says, potentially aiming to split the South vote to favor a northern candidate from another party, Obi might unintentionally play into the hands of northern politicians. However, whether Tinubu will allow this coalition to succeed remains uncertain. Tracy Jacobin, at Abidin, you keep repeating the same comment over again. Stick with your Agbado master, okay? All right, I'm not going to go into the back and forth. Okay, let's look for new comments. Okay, Obedoji says, Esther Machuku, thank you. Thank you so much. Ngozika, Smiley. Esther, good evening. The man in the studio knows his onion. Everything about our present leaders and nothing to weigh home about. As for Obi, he can make an impact within 2 years. Frank from Ekbeda. All right, Oze Tessie says Tinubu will never allow the electronic transmission of results. Nigerians are too weak to fight these demons. They have captured Nigeria and Nigerians. Agbese Ochima says, okay, I have the number is on the screen. So yes, this person says, stop this Tunde from calling this station. He's okay. Well, Tunde is a Nigerian. He's free to air his view, but Tunde, you need to stop attacking persons. It's quite important. Wake blessing. Esther, please invite Tunde. Let him come and face Mr. Darlington face to face, because it's becoming too much for Tunde with what is going on in Nigeria. They support nonsense. All right, everyone is now talking about Tunde. You guys know how to make the conversation about Sunday. Okay, good evening, Esther Barrister. Whether Article OB is a task, and if everybody must be part of 2027 elections, Tinubu and APC must be sent packing. It's not negotiable. Ben from Abisori State. Good evening, Esther. Good evening to you and the guests. Thank you for your good work. Please let Tunde tell us the faculty, department, and year he attended Unizik for us to verify the authenticity of his claims. I don't believe him, and if really he went there, he must not be a good student. Thanks, Ken from Lagos. All right, good evening to you all in the house. Sister okay, my name is Esther. Please tell Tunde not to be putting on that his APC cap at night, because it covers his brain, so it won't allow him reason well. Again, I don't even know why you've not blocked him from calling, since he keeps going against even someone who is not even in the house at the moment. Thanks, Godson. So Tunde, you can see you weren't blocked. A lot of numbers keep calling, so people are saying you should be blocked, but you will not be blocked. You're free to call, but don't insult anyone. You can express yourself based on the conversation we're having, but you don't have to make any derogatory comments against anyone, especially if the person is not in the studio. To be honest with you, if you do that next time, I would cut the call. So please beware. Please, Barrister, is there anything to use to clean up their gas in the government in power? May they used to chase people away?
Anyone?
See, their gas or something. I don't know. Good evening, Esther. You won't believe it. I had a bet with my colleague who is a supporter of APC that Tinubu will fix Nigeria in a year. We bet 100,000 naira, and the money was given to our general manager, who is a white man. Today, I won the money. Even my GM confirmed that Tinubu is a failure. I'm an obedient. I'm always follow Peter Obi anywhere he goes. Frank from Egbeda. Good evening, Esther and Barrister in the studio. I commend the Barrister on his analysis. In fact, he has done well. However, I do not fully agree with him on what he said that amendment to electoral law is unnecessary. The word transmitting the votes electronically needs to be included in the electoral laws. Barrister, I like your analysis that is void of tribalism, unlike some other guests. Taiwo from Ejigbo. Okay, Taiwo, well done. Good evening, Esther and the Barrister in the studio. Solomon Asika from Mushi. I quite agree with the Barrister. If truly you know what you want to do, 4 years is more than enough. Cause how many years did Nelson Mandela used to lead South Africa after being in prison for 27 years? Assuming he is the set of leaders we have, they would have wanted to die there. All right. Good evening. This is Americana from Agor. The challenges are enormous. INEC thugs and vote rigging are tools Alex's classmate will use. All right, Tunde and Peter Osi for our siblings. You guys are calling Peter now. Good evening, Esther and Barrister. Peter Obi can do it in less than 4 years. No sentiment at all. APC is afraid of him. Let Nigerians open their eyes and collect their land from him and evil people. Tunde should mind himself. Good evening, Esther and Barrister. Okay, you guys have turned this whole conversation to Tunde alone. All right. Okay, let's see this. Okay, I think I've read this message. There's a lot of messages here. A lot. Wow, this is long. Ade from Lagos. Esther is glaring that the party APC, led by the president and the sycophants are scared and jittery because the foundation that brought this government into power is not credible. All that it does would work. Like Daily Farotimi said, you can't bribe your way into power and expect development. Now that Obi is a bride, that is, Nigerians are looking up to him. So let them do electoral reform, make it mandatory, and then anyone who doesn't attend debate should be disqualified. People must defend and count their vote. INEC should post results electronically if they do free and fair elections without vote buying, Agbero, intimidation, cash and carry. INEC and Judiciary. Ade from Lagos. All right, Esther, good evening. Ralph is my name. Let's give Peter Obi a chance. Coalition is the answer. All Nigerians should go and pick ADC membership cards so that we vote and we protect it. There is a body we vote into that position that will not be better than this evil that has befallen Nigerians. As it is now, Nigerians are for Peter Obi and are more angrier now than 2023 when they read Obi and Article out. Our slogan now is Tinubu must go. You didn't tell us your name. Please, when you're sending messages, be comprehensible. Like, let us understand what you're trying to put across. So be patient in constructing your message, okay? How can a youth have a sick brain? One of the useless youth we have, drawing us backwards. Can't somebody catch this loud? Okay, you guys calm down. Good evening, VOP. With the obedient and with Peter Obi, anywhere he goes, the witch hunt by the president and his government will seriously be of advantage to the coalition because sympathy vote will set in. He should be careful. Nigerians are not happy. This is Odaba. Please, Esther, let Barrister be coming every Wednesday. Barrister, it doesn't really stay in Lagos, so
provide the flight ticket.
Now, lock where you come here to do. Good evening, Esther. I'm glad that you didn't bring the usual Why? Come on. Tunde said that Obi was Abacha's boy, but one of Tinubu's minister was Abacha's right-hand man who aided all the looting. Destiny from Mushin. Please, is it possible for us to clarify this Abacha thing? What Peter Obi said was that there were issues about Apapa decongestion or something. He was in charge of the committee to decongest. It was a contract that he got, I think, for a couple of months. And once the contract was done, he left. Why do they keep saying that he worked for Abacha to scuttle the democracy? I've been hearing that. What's the full story in that whole thing?
Well, Peter Obi was very clear on that. He was brought in to address the issue of ports.
Yes.
But the real person who was a military boy was Bola Tinubu.
Abacha, right?
Not even through Abacha. Bola Tinubu worked with IBB to scuttle the June 12 process. And then when he couldn't get the same kind of face with Abacha, because Abacha was more of a no-nonsense person, he ran away and he was doing Nadeco. Nadeco was virtually MKO's money that was being used. So Tinubu has always been an upstart who benefited from the system. But he worked with IBB.
So why are they not saying that?
Well, I mean, but those are past tense. I mean, the reality now is what.
But they keep using this past situation to possibly muddy.
That he was on a panel to address sport issues does not mean he was a Abacha boy. It doesn't mean that.
And he was not even the one in charge then. It was one man like that. Forgotten his.
But you see, one question that came up severally was the issue of the electoral reforms. And I keep on saying that we don't need any electoral reforms again in Nigeria. Because they are now saying that there should have been the need to transmit electronically. My dear, when the law for now says votes must be with the BVAS machines and must be also reflected in the IREV, will you carry it by head? Does it not mean transmission? And the thing is, if you have a judiciary that is willing to interpret or to stretch the meaning of words, no matter the words you use, they will always stretch it out. Some other countries don't have electoral laws. Okay. But common sense tells you that when you vote, your votes count and you win election.
All right, Esther, yes. Read my message. Tinubu is a master strategist. It's only in Lagos, but not in Nigeria. The North, I know, are always one-way traffic. Go to the North now. What you'll be hearing is Tinubu is OTP, one-term president. If he feels he has done well, why is he panicking? Let us meet in the polling unit to prove our strength. Jan from Ejaniki. Good evening. I love this barrister. He's top-notch. He is on point. He's saying the glaring truth, and God bless him. Barrister, you're getting admirers. Good tripping. Good evening, Esther. I hope you're good. And big greetings to Barrister Esther. I notice that you have now and constantly refused to keep up my calls. Tony Chukuri. Tony, Biko, nothing personal. Nobody's name shows on the screen when the calls are coming in. And we have segments, reading messages and picking calls, okay? I really commend the analyst for his magnificent insight. Nigeria as a nation is practicing trial and error and choosing the leader. We've given all this cohort a chance, but failed to take us to El Dorado. Let Nigeria try Peter Obi, give Peter Obi a chance as well, and let us see the efficacy of his dispensation to assess his integrity. The new coalition is a new development and great relief to Nigerians. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello? All right, the connection went off. Let me take one more call. We have a live appearance. Good evening, Esther and the Honorable Barrister in the house. Esther, do you know I woke up today and rushed to see if my voter's card is still in good shape, like 2027 general elections is this coming Saturday, just to show how ready I am. And I know many of my fellow Owute people party are taking down the political dinosaur in 2027. As for Tunde, kindly ask him how much was he and Reno Omokri paid for dragging Peter Obi, thinking they're dragging him down. Mazi Amadi from Lagos. Good evening, Esther. Wow, this is a long one. Good evening, VOP. I see this station as anti-APC government with the way your analysts like Barrister Darlington, not Darlington, or Darlington, and this is your guest. Well, all I want is God Almighty to give us a better government, irrespective of anyone from anywhere. God bless Nigeria. Amen. I Adele from Lekki. I agree with you. God bless Nigeria. Good evening, Esther. I greet your guest in the house. Esther, I have a question. In the event that Senate passes the bill on electoral reforms and President refuses to sign it into law, what happens? Can the opposition parties boycott the election? If they do, what could possibly be the resultant effects? Esther, corruption has become endemic in our national life. We cannot continue like this as a nation. We need a solid character and personality like Peter Obi to deal with it. For now, he's the only corrupt-free individual who have the moral justification to deal with corruption and corrupt individuals. Anything less than this, the status quo continues. An illiterate man cannot educate a learned people. QED. All right. Victor, how are you? Welcome.
Fine. Good evening, Esther.
Let's go ahead.
Good evening, Nigeria. Once again, my name is Victor from Kudos Homes Limited, and I'm here to bring to you all the opportunities that we have when you invest in landed properties here in Lagos. So let me quickly talk about all the different areas that we have our properties. So in Agbowa Ikorodu, we have Kudos City. Kudos City is located in Agbowa Ikorodu, and it's currently selling for 1.5 million naira per plot. Now the measurement is 500 square meters and it comes with good title document. So if you want to get Kudos City, is going for 1.5 million naira per plot. And we have in Omuketu Ekpe, we have Kudos Heritage. Kudos Heritage is currently selling for 1.5 million. The actual price for Kudos Heritage is 2.5 million, but in our instant allocation promo, you can get Kudos Heritage for 1.5 million naira instead of 2.5 million naira. That's a whooping 40% discount on Kudos Heritage. So start getting that today. Also, we have Kudos Height in Omuketu Ekpe. Now, Kudos Height is currently going for 4.5 million naira per plot. Like I said, the measurement for all this plot size is 500 square meters. So the phone number to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Now in Delta State, we have Kudos Fairview Estate Phase 2, which is located in Ibuzo main town. So Fairview Estate Phase 2 is currently selling for 2.5 million naira per plot. And we also have Kudos Height, and it's also located in Ibuzo, and Kudos Height is selling for 1.5 million naira per plot. And we have Kudos Court, which is also located in Ibuzo main town, and Kudos Court is going for 4.5 million naira per plot. Now the good thing about all these estates in Delta State is that they are very close to the Asaba International Airport. They are also close to the Market Square, formerly ShopRite, and they are also close to the Nelson Mandela Parks and Garden. So if you are looking for a good place, they are also close to the first and second Niger Bridge. So if you have any of these estates, in fact, you'll be living close to all this basic and all this infrastructural development. So the number again to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Now we go for inspection here in Lagos every Thursdays and Saturday. Like tomorrow, we'll be taking our clients for inspection so that they can come and see our properties, know how they look like, so before they can start investing in it. So if you're out there and you want to join us for inspection, you can join us tomorrow. We have different pickup location. You can join us from our office, which is located at number 171 Egbeda Idimu Road, Abule Odu bus stop, Egbeda, Lagos. 171 Egbeda Idimu Road, Abule Odu bus stop, Egbeda, Lagos. We also go for inspections on Saturday, so you can join us either tomorrow or you join us on Saturday. Then in Delta State, we go for inspection virtually almost every day. The only days that we don't go for inspection in Delta State is on Sunday. So we go Mondays to Saturday. And the phone number to call again is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. And you can get us on all social media. We are on Instagram and we are also on Facebook, and the handle is at Kudos Homes Limited, at Kudos Homes Limited, and our website is www.kudoshomesLimited.com. So if you want to find more about us, just Google the name Kudos Homes Limited on Google and you get virtually all information about us. So the number again to call is 0905 904 7514. So invest so that you can harvest, because the only investment that can stand the test of time is property investment.
All right, Victor, thank you very much for that update. Barrister Eze Eluche, we'll need to wrap up now, but what's your final take?
Well, my final take is that we cannot give up on Nigeria. Nigeria is our country, and we should never think that anybody owns Nigeria more than us, whether they are armed or not armed. We should just believe that there will still be hope for change. Keep your voter's card, be ready. And when it's time to vote, ensure you vote the right thing and you stand by your votes.
Okay.
And this is how it's done in other countries. It's not easy.
All right. We still have 2 years. What would you say in regards to governance? Because right now that the coalition has obviously been formed, the administration of the day there have been accusations that they've been doing more of politicking than administering. Now that the coalition is obviously up, do you think that they should get distracted, or they should focus on delivering what they promised Nigerians they would deliver at the polls in 2023?
What these guys promise Nigerians that they deliver is they will continue the hardship of Muhammad Buhari. And that's what they've been doing. So if they can be distracted from continuing with the hardship, Nigerians will distract them. Okay. But then what some of us do is you give them civil disobedience because they're not worth the office they occupy.
Okay.
So that's just the reality about it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of the conversation this evening. My name is Esther Machuku. I was streaming live on Instagram. I think some of you were asking that you wanted to see the face of the guest. So this is Barrister Eze Eluche, and there are lots of loves and greetings for you. They want to see your face. So this is him, as you can see, and thumbs up to you. And for all of you that streamed with us on YouTube, thank you so much for joining the conversation. We do hope to continue to give you the updates right here on issues across Nigeria's social, economic, and political landscape. Unbiased conversations is what we have here, while we intellectually edify ourselves with how we delve into these issues and make proper recommendations to resolving some of Nigeria's quagmire. My name is Esther Machuku. Have yourself a beautiful evening, and